Hi everybody, welcome to Wild Music. Joni Mitchell was born in 1943 in Fort Macleod, Alberta, Canada. Her songs often reflect social and environmental issues, as well as feelings about romance, confusion, disillusionment, and joy. Yet again, she's not somebody who you could classify as who's performed in or composed a certain type of music, because she just crosses over so many genres that her style is her own. She describes herself as a painter derailed by circumstance, which is very interesting. She was a painter before becoming a musician, and she actually designed many of her album covers. This song, Carey, is off her famous album Blue. While she didn't design this cover, she had input into it. So she didn't paint it, I mean. So the album Blue was released in 1971 and was her fourth studio album. This song, Carey, was inspired by some time she spent with a man called Carey Raditz, living with a cave-dwelling hippie community at Matala on the Greek island Crete. And this was where she lived between March and June in 1969. And when you start searching the internet, you can get caught reading for a very long time, as I have done today, because it's very interesting finding out about the lifestyle and people who've reconnected after all of these years through the medium of the internet that we have now. Very interesting. So she said that she wrote the first version of this song, Carey, for Carey Raditz's 24th birthday. He was a cook who worked at the Delphini restaurant on Crete, and they spent a lot of time together at the Mermaid Cafe with many others there. So on this song, she plays the Appalachian dulcimer, and we have Stephen Stills on acoustic guitar and bass, as well as Russ Kunkel on percussion, drums. There is a jazz version of this as well that Joni Mitchell recorded and was released in 1974 on the album Miles of Isles. So anyway, let's hear her brilliant recording of Carey.
The wind is in from Africa. Last night I couldn't sleep. Oh, you know it sure is hard to leave here, Carey, but it's really not my home. My fingernails are filthy. I've got beach tar on my feet, and I miss my clean white linen and my fancy French cologne. Oh, Carey, get out your cane. Carey, get out your cane. Put on some silk. I'll put on some silk. Oh, you're a neat old daddy, but I like you. Fine. Come on down to the Mermaid Cafe, and I will buy you a bottle of wine, and we'll laugh and toast to nothing and smash our empty glasses down. Let's have a round for these freaks and these soldiers, a round for these friends of mine. Let's have another round for the bright red devil who keeps me in this tourist town. Come on, Carey, get out your cane. I'll put on some silk. Oh, you're a mean old daddy, but I like you. I like you, I like you, I like you. Maybe I'll go to Amsterdam, or maybe I'll go to Rome, and rent me a grand piano and put some flowers around my room. But let's not talk about fare thee wells now. The night is a starry dome, and they're playing that scratchy rock and roll beneath the Matla moon. Come on, Carey, get out your cane. Get out your cane. Put on some silk. I'll put on some silk. You're a mean old daddy, but I like you. Last night I couldn't sleep. Oh, you know it sure is hard to leave you, but it's really not my home. Maybe it's been too long a time since I was scrambling down in the street. Now they got me used to that clean white linen and that fancy French cologne. Oh, Carey, get out your cane. I'll put on my finest silk. Go to the Mermaid Cafe, have fun tonight. I said, oh, you're a mean old daddy, but you're out of sight.
Yes. Oh, so beautiful, isn't it? Wow, it just transports you back into the past when you hear songs like that. Joni Mitchell in particular. It takes you to that era and makes you think of the times of her living in the hippie commune. Of course, I wasn't alive back then. I'm not quite old enough to have lived back in the 60s, but it's so interesting, and it's one way we can be transported back into a past time through music, the power of music. I'm going to do my reaction a little differently this time. I'm going to play this through like I usually do with the instrumental reactions, and I'll talk it through as we go. Firstly, lyrically, this song is so poetic and it tells a story, and I would describe the style of this particular song, not everything Joni Mitchell does, but this definitely has a very folky vibe, very folk music vibe, and I love it. So let's go back to the beginning where she plays the introduction on the Appalachian dulcimer, and then the vocals enter quite soon after.
The wind is in from Africa.
So it's so simple, the introduction. It's so sparse as well, but that it just has this beautiful vibe. And it's that sparseness and the simplicity to that really makes that so beautiful.
The wind is in from Africa. Last night I couldn't sleep. Oh, you know it sure is hard to leave here, Carey, but it's really not my home.
So I call this, this is the verse, the first verse. And it's very interesting the way she changes register so effortlessly in this section. And she has a very interesting timbre to her voice. Each register is a bit different, and it works so well. It's so beautiful. I'll play it from where her vocals enter.
The wind is in from Africa. Last night I couldn't sleep. Oh, you know it sure is hard to leave here, Carey, but it's really not my home.
And that beautiful vibrato she's used there is just a touch of colour to the music. And also her high notes. She hits there just immediately, so effortlessly and right in tune. It's so nice. And then the verse, it goes again.
My fingernails are filthy. I've got beach tar on my feet. And I miss my clean white linen and my fancy French cologne.
So there, I love the way she does a slide down of linen. You'll hear that. I'll play it again from that section. So it's like verse 2.
Your nails are filthy. I've got beach tar on my feet. And I miss my clean white linen and my fancy French cologne. Oh, Carey, get out your cane.
Now, at this point, we're into what you would probably call the chorus. And you can hear the congas increasing to a double tempo at this point. So I'll go back to the start of this section.
Oh, Carey, get out your cane. Put on some silk.
phrasing here is so beautiful as well. That vibrato she just ended on too. But the phrasing, but I like you. I really love the way she phrased that. Let me go back to the start of this.
Put on some silk. Oh, you're a neat old daddy, but I like you.
And now there's a couple of instrumental bars there to lead back into the first section again, or into another verse. It's the same as the beginning of the first verse. This time it's at a louder dynamic level, which you'll hear.
Come on down to the Mermaid Cafe, and I will buy you a bottle of wine, and we'll laugh and toast to nothing and smash our empty glasses down. Let's have a round for these freaks and these soldiers, a round for these friends of mine. Let's have another round for the bright red devil who keeps me in this tourist town.
Yeah, so I love the way she sings the word wine, and I think it was mine. She sang those so beautifully. Then let's have another. She sings in an almost conversational, in a conversational style, and I really love the way she did that. But let's go back to hear those things.
Mermaid Cafe, and I will buy you a bottle of wine, and we'll laugh and toast to nothing and smash our empty glasses down. Let's have a round for these freaks and these soldiers, a round for these friends of mine. Let's have another round for the bright red devil who keeps me in this tourist town. Come on.
And the high notes that she hit there were so good as well. Now we're back into the chorus section, so it's double tempo again.
Come on, Carey, get out your Carey. I'll put on some silk.
And you can hear these counter harmonies happening here as well, which are the harmonies that are sort of counter lines, harmonized, as well as it complements the main vocal line really, really well here. So I'll go back to the start of this chorus.
Carey, get out your Carey. I'll put on some silk. Oh, you're a neat old daddy, but I like you. I like you. I like you. I like you.
And I love the way she ad-libs those I like yous and repeats it there. Repeats it for emphasis in the song. A great strategy within songwriting. But it just sounds so good too. It's great because it's great.
Come on, Carey, get out your Carey. I'll put on some silk. Oh, you're a neat old daddy, but I like you. I like you. I like you. I like you. Maybe I'll go to...
Now we're in like the beginning. Well, minus the introduction. So this is a verse, in other words.
Maybe I'll go to Amsterdam, or maybe I'll go to Rome, and rent me a grand piano and put some flowers around my room. But let's not talk about fare thee wells now. The night is a starry dome, and they're playing that scratchy rock and roll beneath the Macklemore moon. Come.
Excellent phrasing as well. So now we're moving into the chorus again with some counter harmonies.
Come on, Carey, get out your Carey. Put on some silk. You're a mean old daddy, but I like you. The wind is...
And I love the way she did that long note there. That was really well controlled with a bit of touch of vibrato on that as well.
The wind is in from Africa.
So we're into another verse now, and here she's gone a bit quieter for variation. It really adds the light and shade or the colour to the music.
Last night I couldn't sleep. Oh, you know it sure is hard to leave you, but it's really not my home.
That line is really well done. The rhythm of that, really not my home. and the way she sings it, and the melody goes up a bit higher. Whereas in the other verses, that it's like a little bit of a variation to what she sings in the other verses. Beautiful.
Sure is hard to leave you, but it's really not my home. Maybe it's been too long a time since I was scrambling down in the street. Now they got me used to that clean white linen and that fancy French cologne. Oh, Carey, get out your chorus. I'll put on my finest silver.
So in this chorus, she's adding a few more ad-libs.
Go to the Mermaid Cafe, have fun tonight. I said, oh, you're a mean old daddy, but you're out of sight.
And she sings the word sight there so beautifully. That long note. Sings it sight and adds the it towards the end.
Tonight, I said, oh, you're a mean old daddy, but you're out of sight.
Beautiful. And just have a listen to the bass lines going here. The bass line is actually very creative as well, all the way through. But have a listen at this point to the bass line.
Scrambling down in the street. Now they got me used to that clean white linen and that fancy French cologne. Oh, Carey, get out your cane. I'll put on my finest silver. Go to the Mermaid Cafe, have fun tonight. I said, oh, you're a mean old daddy, but you're out of sight.
Yes, very interesting bass lines there by Stephen Stills. What a great song by Joni Mitchell. What a brilliant performance. It's iconic. The whole album is, actually. I'd highly recommend listening to the whole Blue album. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my reaction to Carey, Joni Mitchell. I'll see you next time.